Welcome to Created Healthy. I'm Dawn Combs. It's a common idea that God gave us everything we need in nature, but do we believe it enough to walk that out in truth? Often the very same people who say this go looking for answers on how to use food and medicine from man-made sources. Everything man creates comes with a user's manual. Why would God be any different? I challenge you to join me in seeking revelation about our body, mind, soul, and spirit health by digging into His written word and in practicing pure science in the visible world of His creation. What do you hear when somebody tells you a rule? I think the distinction between whether you see it as a command and it brings up your rebellious nature, or whether you see it as loving guidance, it is all the difference when you're reading all of God's rules. I was lucky enough to have parents that didn't make rules that were just about exercising power over me or trying to see if I would bow to their superior control. They only made rules that were intended to protect me. And they tried to say yes whenever possible. They only used a no to me when it was in the best interest of what they saw in the family, and in my best interest. And so I grew up respecting that rules were put in place for my benefit, not my control. And I think of that as I'm reading in Deuteronomy 5 through 8 today. And Moses actually restates the covenant from Mount Horeb and goes through the 10 Commandments and reasserts that the iniquity of the fathers are going to be revisited. If you mess up, it will affect your children and your children's children to the third and fourth generation. And he reasserts here, he says, this is so that you may live and be well and prolong your days in the land. So he's trying to get across to the Israelites that this is not just God trying to control you. It was never about that. It's not, God doesn't give us rules to try and test us. He gives us rules because this is the way to go to be safe. This is the way to go to be healthy. This is the way to go if you want to live long and then to be in my favor and have everlasting life. It's pretty important. It's pretty important, and how we respond then to this direction is all the difference. If I only hear that somebody's trying to control me and I need to assert my individuality and my power, I'm going to go the other way. Every time God puts a correction in my path, I'm going to run the other direction because I want to be important. I want to be powerful. I want to be in control. And this is where most of our problems come, actually. So Moses tells us the battle is God's, so is the fate of the people. And he's reasserting again, very, very cool here. He says that, don't intermarry. Don't get mixed up in what these people that you're going in. God's going to use you to wipe out these people for a reason. They're bad news in God's eyes, so don't go in and copy them. He says that I didn't choose, so he's interpreting, sharing from God that he did not choose the Israelites because they were the most populous people, or they were the most popular people. He chose them actually because they were the least. And he chose them because he made his word, because he made a covenant. And so it isn't that they're special above all people. It's because he made a promise. And I think that's really important to keep in mind, because he goes on to talk about, if you follow all of these rules, I will multiply you and I will bless you above all people. I will make your wombs and the ground fertile. I will bless the fruit of your womb and your ground. I will give you grain and wine and oil. I will increase your herd, and I will remove from you all sickness. That's so important, I think, to see that God didn't just say, because you're the special people, there's not going to be any sickness amongst you. You'll be set apart from everybody else and not have illness and be able to multiply and have kids whenever you want, because I just want you to look better. I just want you to look like I favor a certain people. And if you want to get in the cool kids club, you should follow me. He says that no one is guaranteed health and fertility, and no one is guaranteed to have the blessings of the ground unless you follow the rules. This mirrors, here we're getting into specifically fertility, and it mirrors Exodus 23:26, which is the only other place that I've seen where God promises that if you follow all the rules, I will make you fertile. You will be able to have children. And this is it's the primary directive. It's the first thing humans were told to do, is be fruitful and multiply, which means we're designed to do it. And without following the rules, our bodies won't operate as designed, is what I'm hearing here. It's not that I'm going to, it's not a bribe. Some people do this in parenting where, if you are quiet in this store, I'm going to buy you a toy. God promises the outcome, the reward. He promises it. It's his word that it will happen if we follow his rules. And his rules are set there as a guidebook, as a way for us to get to the reward. And then we get to choose. It's so much different than being bribed or threatened or having something good dangled if you're good for just a few minutes. It's really, he's talking about no one's guaranteed this. But if you follow my rules, your body operates as it's designed, and the earth operates as it's designed, and they work together, and they create health and fertility. He also talks about balance in the community. He talks about what population control, having enough people in the area actually keeps the wildlife population in check. And so he actually goes into, after making this promise, that he's not going to wipe out everybody in front of them. And so they're not going to move into Canaan and then suddenly the whole place clears out, because they do not have the population to keep the wildlife in the area in check. And so there is this awareness that there's a balance on the earth between the populations, and there's a balance that we humans can't handle. If we go into an area and we don't have enough fertility to maintain a number of people, we can be overrun just as we finally are successful. Really, really cool awareness here that we can look at here today in how we examine environmental science and populations within species, how species are dying out, or some are growing and some are creating new. There is an awareness here with God that if we follow the instructions, everything stays in balance. And I think it's really cool. I pray that God is blessing you today and brings you back with all curiosity again tomorrow. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. And I'm always interested in hearing what God is laying on your heart. So drop me a rating or review, or join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Dawn Combs Really.